This is Marcus Toole. It's still March 8th, and I'm continuing my home orchard tour. It is, my phone just has such a short battery life. It's just crazy. Back to the orchard. This is the Golden Boy pear. It had a huge number of blooms. It's a little later than some of the other pears, so they're not the young developing pears are not as far along as some of them. It's a little harder to tell just how good or bad the fruit set is right now. I imagine it'll be fine. You don't usually have pollination issues with pears, as long as there is another pollinator around, and there have been plenty of pollinators around. This is my Owori Satsuma, and it's loaded with little buds as well as new growth. Just beginning to see some new growth on the orange frost. Can't tell yet if it's going to try to bloom any this year. It's still a very young tree. And more blueberries. Showed the plums the other day. I'm still very happy with what appears to be a pretty good fruit set on the plums, especially on this one, which is Toole's Heirloom. I'm really pleased with it. Let's see. It didn't bloom as much on the lower limbs as it did higher up, so there aren't as many plums on the lower limbs. If I were to get on the ladder and take you to the higher limbs, you would see that it's full of plums. Like that limb there is just covered, and it just makes the difference if it's a little higher up. It has more plums on it. The Mariana plum is continuing to develop plums on it. Hopefully it doesn't drop its plums. It tends to do that. But there seems to be a fair number of them on there at the moment, and which is kind of exciting. So it's a big tree. They don't have to be very dense in order for you to get a big crop, just because the tree's so big. Robusto has plums on it. Southern Bartlett is just covered with plums. I mean, sorry, not plums, but pears. It looks like it's going to produce a nice crop of pears. Most of the huckleberries are pretty full of berries. This one here has really shiny berries. There are two subspecies of Vaccinium elioti, and this is one of them. This is the one with the really shiny berries. And then there's another one that doesn't have the shiny berries, has more of a blueberry, kind of a bluish berry. I mean, this is an example of that one. And that's what most of them are kind of more the bluish kind of berries. The shiny black ones are not nearly as numerous in our part of the state of Georgia. This is the one that I call Dottie. It has a big crop. The berries aren't as big this year as they have been other years, but still lots of them. There's one over here that's still unnamed that actually has bigger berries this year, and boy, I tell you, she's loaded too. Oh boy, she has this bush has a ton of huckleberries on it. Just a huge number. And there's another one over here that has a bunch. I worry a little bit about this one because it's not putting out a lot of leaves. And sometimes blueberries and huckleberries will do that. They'll have such a big crop that they have a hard time putting on leaves, and then they kind of struggle through the summer, and you don't ever you really don't get a crop the next year. So that might be the situation with this one. I hope not. I hope the leaves come on out, but I'm beginning to get a suspicion that they may not. I should have thinned it some. Now, the good thing is the berries seem to be sizing up okay, and often when they do this, the berries don't get any size to them, but they seem to be growing just fine. It's just the leaves aren't coming out. So maybe the leaves will be forthcoming. There's another huckleberry bush that's growing. Lots of berries on it. The LeConte pear is kind of at the same stage of development as Golden Boy. In fact, I'm not even entirely sure that there's really two different varieties, and kind of the same deal. It's just a little early yet to tell how good a fruit set we have. Here's my McKibben plum with the little grafts in it. It seems to be doing okay. Wish it could be growing faster. My various persimmons are just beginning to put out a little bit. They're in various stages of doing that. I have one persimmon in a different part of the yard. Looks like it's going to bloom this year. Well, that's kind of it for now. Probably about all the time I need to give to this video. But thank you for watching, and this is Marcus Toole, March 8, 2018. Hopefully everything will be fine. We're supposed to get a freeze. I just looked at the weather report since this past video, and they're saying 34 now. So that sounds a little better, but it changes almost every time I look at it. So you never know. It's kind of close. Talk to you later. God bless.